We live in a world defined by opposites. We see light and shadow day and night. We feel joy and sadness, strength and weakness. These opposites shape how we experience reality, creating a rich tapestry of life. They are the basic rhythm of our existence, a constant play of forces that seem to be against each other. This dance of opposites has fascinated thinkers and spiritual seekers for thousands of years. It's a universal language understood in all cultures, a pattern woven into the very fabric of the universe. It challenges us to look deeper, to question the nature of being separate, and to find the hidden harmony beneath the surface. The ancient symbol of yin and yang beautifully captures this lively balance. It's a perfect circle divided by a flowing line. One side is dark, the other is light. Yet within the dark half is a small circle of light, and within the light half there's a small circle of darkness. This deep image teaches us that opposites aren't truly separate. They are connected, they depend on each other, and each one holds the seed of the other. They flow into each other in a never-ending, graceful dance, keeping the universe in balance. This symbol is much more than just a picture of balance. It acts as a powerful doorway to a deeper understanding. It invites us to think about a reality that goes beyond simple opposition. What if the opposites we see aren't the final truth? What if they are just expressions like waves on the surface of a vast and deep ocean? This idea suggests that there's a deeper, single reality, a reality that is complete, cannot be divided, and is endless. This is the main idea we're going to explore, that all opposites point to one single divine source. This journey isn't just for one philosophy or spiritual path. It's a universal search. The recognition of a hidden unity echoes through countless traditions, both old and new. From the mystics of the East to the prophets of the West, from the insights of philosophers to the discoveries of modern science, there's a common thread. That thread points to an endless, unchanging reality that is the origin and substance of everything that exists. We'll explore this shared wisdom, finding out how different cultures have explained this one truth. The main idea we're thinking about is simple, but super important. Underneath everything that seems like two different things, there's one unchanging and endless unity. This isn't a new idea, it's an old truth that people all over the world have known and respected. It's a truth that doesn't belong to just one religion or one way of thinking. Instead, it's something everyone shares, a common understanding about what life really is. In this video, we're going to look closely at how this one idea shows up in different ways of thinking, spiritual beliefs, and even science. We'll see how different words and symbols really point to the same quiet, endless truth. Our journey will compare things. We'll connect the wisdom from the East with the teachings from the West. We'll look at the Taoist idea of the Tao, which can't really be put into words, and compare it to the Bible's idea of a God who created everything. We'll put the Buddhist teaching of emptiness, or sunyata, next to the Christian idea of God being everywhere. By putting these seemingly different ideas side by side, we can see the amazing harmony that connects them. The goal isn't to mix them all into one, but to appreciate the special ways each tradition shows a shared truth about our connected universe. This journey will also link old wisdom with what we know today. We'll go into the secret worlds of Hermeticism and Kabbalah, looking at the idea of Ein Sof, which means the endless. Then we'll look at the newest ideas in modern physics. We'll find out how the scientific idea of a unified quantum field is like what ancient wise people thought. This mix shows that trying to understand things isn't split between spiritual stuff and scientific stuff. Both paths, if you follow them with an open mind, can lead to seeing one single, all-encompassing, endless foundation of being. In the end, this exploration wants to help us see things in a more complete and welcoming way. It honors how deep and rich individual spiritual traditions are, while celebrating the universal harmony that connects them. We'll see that whether we call it Tao, God, Brahman, or the quantum field, we're really talking about one continuous divine thing. At the heart of ancient Chinese philosophy lies a concept so deep that it defies any simple definition: the Tao. The Tao is understood as the highest principle, the natural order of the universe, a silent, flowing force from which everything comes. It's not a god that you worship in a personal way, but a basic, impersonal reality that holds all of existence together. The main book of Taoism, the Tao Te Ching, said to be written by the wise Lao Tzu, starts with a famous and very important warning. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. This powerful beginning marks the start of a wisdom that points beyond what human language and minds can grasp, pointing to a flow that can't be described and has no limits. This first statement from Lao Tzu is key to understanding the Taoist way of seeing things. It suggests that the moment we try to name or define the ultimate reality, we've already lost its true nature. The eternal Tao has no form, no name, and goes beyond all ways of thinking. It is the uncarved block, the empty vessel, the source of endless potential before it shows up in the countless forms of the world, the 10,000 things. This unexplainable nature isn't a sign of being absent, but of a presence so complete and all-encompassing that it can't be held by our limited minds. It is the ultimate mystery, the silent spring from which the whole universe constantly comes, with all its opposites and complex parts. The Tao is often described using nature metaphors like the effortless flow of water. Water is gentle but powerful. It nourishes all life without trying and finds its way around obstacles without fighting. This shows the principle of Wu Wei, or effortless action, which is the practice of going with the natural flow of the Tao. By doing this, you move in harmony with the universe instead of fighting against it. This idea teaches that the greatest power is found not in force, but in gently and consistently aligning with the natural order of things. The Tao is therefore both the source of creation and the guide for living wisely within it, a silent and always there rhythm. So the Tao represents a reality that existed before everything else and is endless, which is the mother of all creation. It existed before heaven and earth, before any idea of opposites like yin and yang. It is the unseen foundation from which all things grow, and to which all things eventually return. This view presents a universe born not from one big dramatic act of will, but from the natural and spontaneous unfolding of an endless and mysterious principle. It's a view of a universe that creates and supports itself, held forever in the silent and eternal embrace of the nameless, formless Tao. This basic understanding sets a strong example for exploring where the universe came from. As we turn to the Western biblical tradition, we find a creation story that's different, but surprisingly similar. The book of Genesis, the very first book of the Bible, starts with one of the most famous statements in all of literature. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. This statement sets up a single, highest source for everything that exists. Unlike the impersonal Tao, the God of Genesis is shown as a distinct personal creator who acts with purpose and intention. This God exists before time and space, a reality that was there before everything else, from which the whole universe comes. This basic idea suggests a universe that doesn't just appear, but is made thoughtfully and on purpose by a divine power that is outside and above it. The creative process described in Genesis starts with the divine word. God says, "Let there be light," and light appears. This act of creating through the word, the logos in later Christian theology, is a repeated idea. The universe is spoken into being, with every part of creation following a divine command. This highlights a reality where order is brought to chaos, and shape is given to the shapeless by the power of a divine expression. The God of the Bible, in this context, is not a passive, flowing principle, but an active, ruling architect who designs and builds the universe according to a divine plan, separating light from darkness and land from sea with purpose and intention. Even though the images and story are very different from the Taoist story, a deep similarity can be found in the idea of a supreme higher source. Just as the Tao is the unshown spring of all things, the biblical God is the uncreated creator from whom everything comes. Both traditions point to a final reality that exists beyond human understanding and came before the physical universe. The God described in the Bible is basically mysterious and cannot be fully explained. Moses asks for God's name, and the answer is a deep puzzle. I am that I am, suggesting a being whose true nature cannot be captured by a simple label, echoing in a different way the Tao's unnameable nature. So, both the Taoist and biblical stories, despite their huge cultural and religious differences, meet at a central point. Existence comes from an endless source that was there before everything else. The original energy of the unshown Tao and the creative word of the biblical God both confirm the presence of a limitless divine principle. It is from this single, ultimate reality that all differences appear: light and darkness, heaven and earth, order and chaos. In both frameworks, the world of many different things and opposites that we experience is understood as a secondary expression of a primary, unified, and endless source, which remains the ultimate basis of all being. In the rich world of Buddhist thought, we find the deep idea of sunyata, which is often called emptiness or void. But this word doesn't mean a hopeless emptiness or a state of nothingness. Instead, it points to a deep and honestly a very new way of seeing reality. Sunyata teaches that all things, from the tiniest particle to the biggest galaxy, are empty of having their own separate existence. Nothing has its own fixed, separate nature. Instead, everything comes about because of everything else, woven into a huge and unbroken web of cause and effect. This idea really challenges how we normally see things, a world made of solid, distinct objects, showing us a fluid and deeply connected reality. It asks us to look past the idea of separation and see the unity underneath everything. The Heart Sutra, one of the most important Buddhist writings, sums up this wisdom in a powerful and short sentence. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. This statement is not a puzzle to solve, but a truth to understand directly. It means that the world of forms we see, our bodies, our thoughts, the physical world around us, is not separate from the underlying reality of emptiness. The forms themselves are ways this connected emptiness shows up. Emptiness is not a background that things appear against, it is the very stuff of their appearance. This teaching dissolves the idea of two separate things between existing and not existing, showing that all things are temporary and connected ways of appearing within a limitless field of what can be. This view of a connected reality has deep meaning for how we understand ourselves and our place in the universe. If nothing exists alone, then the idea of a separate, lasting self is just a trick of the mind. Our identity is not a fixed thing, but a moving process, a temporary coming together of countless causes and conditions. This understanding can be incredibly freeing. It frees us from the burden of a fixed self and opens us up to a deeper feeling of connection with all life. Realizing our own emptiness in this way is not a loss, but a way to experience ourselves as part of a larger unified whole, a flowing current in the endless river of existence. So the Buddhist idea of sunyata shows a universe that is a moving and connected web. It's an endless web where each part defines and is defined by every other part. This is not a fixed unity, but a lively and never-ending dance of coming and going, where all differences are temporary and relative. Creation and destruction, life and death, self and other, are not sharp opposites but inseparable parts of one flowing process. This understanding of reality as a unified and connected field provides a fascinating Eastern parallel to the Western idea of an all-encompassing divine presence, which we will now explore in the Christian tradition. In Christian beliefs, God being everywhere means he is in all places, holding up all of creation every single moment. The New Testament says he is before all things, and in him all things hold together, showing God as both the creator and the one who keeps everything going. This idea changes the world into a holy place where every tiny bit and every star is held within God's presence. It makes the line between holy and everyday things blurry, showing all of creation as one in God. This connects with the idea of sunyata in Buddhism. Both ideas break down the idea that things are separate, describing a world where everything is deeply connected. Whether you see it as God's supporting hand or the Buddhist web of how things depend on each other, both point to one big whole where all opposites are woven together. Brahman in Hinduism is the infinite and unchanging reality behind all existence, taking part in Lila, the divine play. The universe is a cosmic dance, shown by Shiva as Nataraja, whose movements stand for creation, preservation, and coming to an end. Shiva's dance brings together life and death, creation and destruction, like harmonious rhythms in one divine show. Lila teaches that all the joys and struggles of life are steps in this endless dance. Shiva says, "I am the beginning, the middle, and the end," blurring the lines between the stages of existence. The divine is not far away but is the energy that makes the cosmic show alive. This view invites us to see our lives as part of the dance, recognizing the oneness beneath all the differences. In Christianity, creation didn't just happen a long time ago, it's still happening. God always keeps and renews the universe. In him we live and move and have our being, says the Bible, showing that we are always connected to God. The cycles of nature show us that God is always present, revealing a divine rhythm in everything that exists. This is like the Hindu Leela. Both ideas see the universe as something that is always changing and is an expression of God. Shiva's dance and creation in the Bible show us that everything that changes and transforms is united in the divine. Understanding this is like listening to the music of the universe and finding our place in its sacred rhythm. Mystical traditions like Kabbalah and Hermeticism talk about a basic oneness that's under everything that exists. In Kabbalah, Ein Sof, the infinite, is the amazing source from which all of creation comes. The Sephirot are like steps that connect the infinite and the visible world, making creation a direct showing of God's true nature. Hermeticism agrees with this by saying, as above, so below, seeing all of reality as a pattern of one universal rule, the all. Both traditions teach that opposites aren't really opposites but are just different ways things show up within one connected field. The many things in the world are a beautiful trick of the eye, hiding the truth that everything is connected as parts of the one. This mystical idea has a really interesting connection to what modern science has found. Modern physics, especially quantum field theory, shows the universe as one continuous and connected whole. Fields, not particles, are what's most important. What we see as particles are just ripples in these fields, which sounds a lot like old mystical ideas about everything being one. David Bohm's implicate order says that everything is folded into a deeper, undivided reality. The similarities to the Kabbalah's Ein Sof are amazing. Both talk about an endless source from which all things come. Differences in many parts are just on the surface. Underneath lies a unified, endless reality. Science and mysticism come together, each seeing the same undivided foundation of everything. Whether it's called Ein Sof or the quantum field, all existence is the lively expression of one, silent, endless whole. As we look at the many different ideas humans have come up with, one constant truth keeps showing up super clearly. Whether we look at Eastern spiritual beliefs, Western religious ideas, mystical traditions, or even modern science, the main idea stays the same. The universe we live in isn't just a random bunch of separate pieces, but it's deeply connected to an endless divine reality. This reality is a smooth, harmonious flow, a single basic source from which everything comes. The clear divisions and differences that shape our daily lives, like the endless dance of light versus dark, order versus chaos, life versus death, aren't the final answer. Instead, they are beautiful and necessary expressions of a much deeper, higher unity that holds everything together in a perfect, amazing balance. We've seen this truth reflected in many mirrors. The Taoist idea of the unspoken Tao talks about a source without shape or name, from which the 10,000 things come into being in a natural, easy way. The Bible's story of Genesis describes a single, powerful God whose creative word brings the universe into existence from a state of original oneness. Buddhist philosophy shows a world of connected emptiness, or shunyata, where everything is connected and depends on each other, part of a single, endless web of being. Christian beliefs describe an all-present God in whom all things live, move, and are held together, a constant supporting presence that fills every tiny bit of creation. Each tradition uses its own special words, its own sacred symbols to point to this same amazing reality. This big coming together of ideas goes beyond old spiritual wisdom. The mystical paths of Hermeticism and Kabbalah describe an endless, unknowable source, the All or Ein Sof, from which all creation flows out like a hidden reflection of its limitless nature. In a surprising way, the cutting edge of quantum physics now describes the universe as one big field of possibility, one continuous whole where particles are just ripples on the surface of a deeper reality. This coming together of ideas, from the deep thinking of the mystic to the careful mind of the scientist, is a strong sign of how true this idea is for everyone. It suggests that we are all starting to realize that the universe is basically complete, smart, and connected. So, our journey through these different ways of looking at things leads us to one strong conclusion. The universe isn't a battleground of fighting opposites, but a harmonious orchestra playing a divine symphony. The tensions and differences we see are the very things that create the music, the dance of notes and silences that gives the song its depth and beauty. This endless reality, this divine flow, is the basic foundation of everything that exists. It's the quiet composer, the lively music, and the joyful listener, all at the same time. Realizing this helps us see ourselves in a new way, and our world too. We're not just separate pieces but important parts of an endless harmonious whole. The timeless symbol of the yin-yang serves as the perfect emblem for this endless dance. It's more than just a picture of balance, it's a deep teaching about what reality itself is like. Imagine how the universe works, not through things being stuck against each other, but through a lively and flowing exchange. The black and white halves aren't locked in a stiff fight to be in charge. Instead, they gracefully give way to each other, each holding the tiny seed of its opposite, shown by the little dot of the other color. This teaches us that light comes from darkness, and darkness comes from light. They are always together in a never-ending creative cycle, a cosmic dance that makes and keeps the world of things we see. This symbol beautifully brings together all the old wisdom we've talked about. It shows us that opposites are real in their own way. They are the clear signs of the divine play, the steps of the cosmic dance. But they are all inside the perfect circle of everything, showing the ultimate, limitless oneness that goes beyond them. This circle is the Tao, the endless foundation of Brahman, the everywhere present field of God, the complete, unbroken whole of the quantum field. The lively movement inside the circle is the Lila, the constant creating, the back and forth of what we see and what we don't. The yin-yang is like a map of the universe, showing both the dance we can see and the source we can't, all in one elegant picture. This understanding asks us to change how we see things. We often learn to see the world in terms of strict opposites. Good versus evil, success versus failure, us versus them. The wisdom of the yin-yang and the old teachings it reflects encourages us to see past these narrow ways of thinking. It asks us to see the tiny bit of light in our dark times, and to stay humble in our bright times, knowing that all situations change. It guides us to find peace within life's seeming mess, to appreciate that both shadow and light are needed for a full picture. It teaches us to live in tune with how things naturally flow, accepting the cycles of change with grace and wisdom. In the end, the lesson of this endless dance is about taking part. We aren't separate watchers of the universe, we are the universe watching itself. The divine, whether we call it Tao, God, Brahman, or the infinite, is not some outside force but the very core of who we are, the source of our breath, the awareness that makes us alive. It stretches endlessly beyond all limits, holding every possible opposite within its eternal, loving hug. As we truly understand this, we realize that our own lives are a key part of this beautiful, lively oneness. We are a special and precious way the one infinite reality shows itself, a note in the universe's never-ending song. Our journey through different traditions brings us to a deep and unifying conclusion. To see the universe as an endless, flowing harmony is to look past the limits of our perceived dualities. This bigger view fits beautifully with holy teachings from all over the world, including Bible verses that talk about how God is everywhere and in everything. The Apostle Paul writes in Romans chapter 11 verse 36, "For from him, and through him, and to him, are all things." This strong statement captures the main idea of our exploration. It shows a reality where everything comes from, is held up by, and finally goes back to one endless source. This is a view of togetherness, not of being separate. The divine in this light is not a still object or a far-off separate thing to be looked at or defined. It's a lively and endless rhythm, a creative force that keeps unfolding. It's the quiet beat underneath all of creation, the constant, life-giving movement that makes the universe alive. This way of looking at things challenges us to go beyond strict intellectual ideas of God or reality. It invites us to a direct, felt experience of this divine flow. It's the difference between reading a description of the ocean and actually feeling the cool water wash over your feet, connecting with its vast and powerful presence. This understanding has deep meaning for our own lives. It makes us think about our place within this endless dance. If all things flow from and are held within one single divine source, then we are not separate beings moving through a broken world. We are a natural part of this eternal, harmonious movement. Our breath is part of the cosmic rhythm. Our awareness is a wave in the ocean of divine awareness. Our lives are a unique and precious expression of this never-ending creative process, a note in the grand symphony of existence that has its own special purpose and beauty. So we are invited to embrace this view of reality, a reality where all opposites come together in harmony within an eternal and divine flow. It's an endless symphony where every note and every moment of quiet blend into a deep and all-encompassing oneness. This isn't just a philosophical idea to think about, but a living truth to be lived out. By opening our hearts and minds to this view, we deepen our understanding of ourselves and the universe. We start to see ourselves as active participants in this eternal and harmonious dance, finding peace and purpose in our connection with everything. To make our connection with this understanding deeper, let's do a short, thoughtful meditation. Find a comfy spot, gently close your eyes and breathe in slowly and deeply. As you breathe in, imagine you're taking in peace and quiet. As you breathe out, let go of any tension or thoughts that distract you. Let your mind settle into a gentle awareness of the vastness that surrounds you and lives inside you. Be present in this moment, right here, right now, open to the quiet wisdom that lives in the silence. Let the outside world fade away and turn your attention inward, to the safe place within your own self. Now, bring to mind the image of the yin-yang symbol. See the smooth dance of white and black, each side gently flowing into the other. Notice how each half holds a tiny seed of its opposite within its heart. This never-ending rhythm speaks of a divine harmony that goes far beyond what we can see, an endless flow that brings all opposites together into one perfect and complete whole. Feel this balanced and gentle movement within your own body. Feel the rhythm of your breath, the steady beat of your heart, as part of this universal dance of giving and receiving, of action and rest. Think about the old words of wise people. Think about the Taoist teaching. The Tao that can be spoken is not the true Tao. Feel the truth in this statement. The ultimate truth is beyond words, beyond labels, a limitless foundation from which all things come and to which all things return. Now think about the Bible's statement, I am the Alpha and the Omega. Feel this not as something far away but as a living presence. A divine flow of love and light that includes all beginnings and all endings, an endless stream without limits and without end. Let your awareness grow beyond the surface of opposites. Light and darkness, creation and destruction, joy and sadness. Dive into the peaceful space where these opposites come together in a quiet, peaceful unity. They are simply the dance steps of an endless rhythm, the unfolding of a never-ending divine work. Realize that you are part of this dance. Your breath, your life, your awareness are waves flowing in the ocean of the divine. Rest in this awareness. You are an important note in this eternal song. When you're ready, slowly bring your awareness back, carrying this truth with you.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you don't miss out on future ideas that challenge us to think outside the box. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, and don't forget to always maintain that curiosity that drives progress. Also, explore even more fascinating content on our channel. From life-changing tips and cutting-edge technology, to the mysteries of spirituality, travel to various countries, delicious recipes, health hacks, and language learning, there's something here to spark your curiosity and elevate your life. Dive in and discover a world of knowledge awaits us.